We are live. We are doing the thing. Okay, good. What's up? What's up? Excited to share this all with you. And we're about to start class. About 2 minutes. So, let's see how this goes. Hoping the stream stays up. Everything works. Oops. Just getting ready here. A long day. This one. Okay. The email, we're kicking off now. Phew! Man, it's been a crazy day. It's been a real crazy day. Just been teaching the entire day and excited to continue. And so we're going to be doing a session live online, basically teaching how to get into this, how to get into everything. Just getting everyone in here. Boom. Doom. Man, it's about to go for another 3 hours. Go. What's up, Sophia?
What's up?
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can't see you. I can feel you. So don't worry about it. How you all doing?
Hi, Nick.
What's up? How are you? How has the building been going since we saw each other?
Haven't done much.
That's okay. That's normal. Shalini, what's up? How are you doing? Oh man, is that an echo?
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Is it echoing?
Am I echoing?
Do you guys hear an echo?
No.
You don't? Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but it's okay. We're gonna get the ball rolling. Shalini, how's it been going since we met in London?
I think it's been going well. Sorry, the music in here is a bit loud.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's been going well. I've been trying to link what I've made on my local disk to my domain name.
Yeah.
And it's really difficult. It's been a process because I can't get the Google approval to connect it to the Gmail.
Yeah, so Shalini, she set up an app that scans your emails to find plane and train tickets. And it's designed to go into your Gmail and your Google account. And so Google is kind of not so nice when it comes to approving an app for Gmail scanning. So it is a process, but luckily you only have to do it one time. So it's normal to run into that because Google is very specific about what it allows to connect. So I hear you. I know it's annoying. But yeah, maybe at some point we can help you out with it as well. So we'll get you there. So Sophia, we have you in here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have you in here. We also have Shalini. I'm waiting for the others to join. We had a couple more hop in from today's workshop. I've been teaching today for almost 5 hours already. So yeah, we're going hard.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, it's okay though. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Cool. So I'm gonna just wait another 2 minutes. I'm just messing with it right now. Hopping in. Let's see who else is going to join. But if not here in 2 minutes, what I want to do is, with you guys, is to first just kind of show you around, where you can get all these awesome skills. And I want to personally onboard you into some of the most important things that we've already taught inside the program and kind of like supercharge your workspace, okay?
Awesome.
Yeah, cool. So I don't know if the other people are joining, so we'll just kind of kick it off, okay? So, first thing is, do you guys have the Discord app installed on your Mac?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is really cool. You can actually share your screen. So if you click share your screen, we can actually share all of our screens at the same time. So this is one of the reasons why we really like Discord. What's up, AK? Who's AK-47?
Me?
Is that you?
It's Alberta.
What's up? How are you? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I'm just turning my camera on.
What's up? How are you?
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god, AK-47, damn.
I forgot I was trying to register and it was like, you have a username, and I just saw it myself. I was like,
yeah, it's, you're in, let's go. Okay, cool. So I want to make sure, if you guys can all click share your screen, I want to make sure you guys are set up properly. And this tool is really cool because I can see your screens all at the same time. So if you run into any problems, you can just kind of share your screen and we can all look together. It's a very cool tool. There you go. Let's do it.
share your screen.
Yeah, so go ahead and share it and we'll figure it out. All right. Cool. All right, so I can see 2 of you so far. Sophia, you want to try yours as well?
It's like,
Yeah, I think it asked her to restart. That's why I did that. Okay, so that's exactly why I did it.
am I doing entire screen?
I usually do the entire screen, yeah.
Yeah, right, because I can't turn it off. Okay.
Yeah, we should be able to see everything, and then as we're going through the process, it makes it really easy for me to jump between screens and to basically give you guys help live, which is pretty cool. All right, then we got Sophia. I can see yours. Well done. All right. Okay, so I can see all of your screens. Great. Okay, so before we dive into the screens, how has the building been going since the workshop?
For me, it's been pretty non-existent because I've had a work situation, hence why I came to Madrid last minute.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I haven't progressed too much. I've done more on the narrative, but I haven't really amended the demo or anything like that.
Okay, cool. And so that's pretty typical. So just to kind of set the expectations for this program and really to share with you guys how to get the most out of this, we want to be constantly playing with this stuff every single day, right? So even if it's like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like maybe using this instead of ChatGPT, being inside of Claude Code is going to be a superpower. So I want you to continue, even if you're thinking about doing something outside of the terminal, I want you to get in the habit of using it every single day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So today, I'm gonna basically get you guys up to speed on some of the best things we have taught inside of the program and just kind of get you as far along as possible. And don't worry, we have a whole program that I built out with in-depth lessons and breakdowns of other skills. But I'm just gonna show you a couple of the things that I think are really worth knowing and kind of just already will upgrade your stacks. Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
And then at 5 o'clock, we're gonna have the rest of the members join. We'll do like a round of introductions, you can introduce yourself, and then I'm gonna continue teaching you guys some more skills then too. Okay? Great. Okay, so the first thing I wanna teach you guys, can you guys see my screen? So you should be able to click into my screen and have a look. Can you see it?
I can't tell which one's which.
So it should be the one that has my name on it. I don't know if you can do that. Can you see
I
it?
think I'm on your screen now.
Yeah, it should like be a 2 sides to it, so like a black terminal. Okay. So before we dive in, do you guys remember how to start Claude?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going to go into my projects. I'm going to zoom in a lot. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make one that's called like, I'm just going to make a directory that's called like, oh, I don't know, like workshop demo. Okay. And then inside of workshop demo, I'm just going to run Claude. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to get back to the folder that you were in, don't worry about it because you can just ask Claude to do it. Okay. So this is what Claude should look like. You guys still have this running inside of your computers? Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
So Nick, that we need to tell it to create a folder, right?
You can do that. So normally what I do is I'll just open up Terminal right away and I just say Claude. And then if I go back to a previous project, I will literally say to it, and by the way, I'm gonna do this, but you guys already know this trick. I'll be like, hey Claude, go back to the lightschool.com website project and go into that folder and let's work on that. And so I'll do that. And then if you do that, Claude's very smart. It's inside of your computer and it will find that folder and it will go to the right one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can just ask it to go into the right folder and it always knows where to go, which is pretty crazy. So that's the first thing to kind of, every time you start, it's a very good place to begin.
So when you
sorry, can you repeat that?
when you open terminal,
Can,
sorry,
yeah, so if you open up Terminal, it can go directly in.
but the voice it might get that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get somebody else in. How do I get her in? One sec. Okay, there's somebody who's in the lounge. One sec. Her name is V. Let me just add a role for her. She's gonna
Is
be.
everyone hearing oh, by the way, it was just in my laptop. Is
It's
everyone hearing like a double?
Hold on. Is it me? Like when I talk, do you hear double? Do you hear double when I talk?
Always, but I'm getting some glitches. I don't know if maybe I have too many things open.
Is anybody else receiving that?
I'm also hearing some like crackling.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just my headphones though, and it's like glitching.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm.
Okay. Is it me? Do you think? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's like still crackling, and there's some like screen glitches. On your page, like at the bottom of my screen. I don't know if you can see that.
So sometimes the screen glitches will happen, but the voice thing is put you in
hear you clearly now.
I think it might be when you guys talk. So I'll
Okay.
yeah, I'll mute when you guys talk, and then we're still figuring it out. And sometimes things will break, but we will figure it out together. Okay? So you guys already know how to get into Claude, but I want to show you a couple of really useful some really useful tools. So there's something inside the terminal that you guys might have known, and they're called slash commands. Okay? So if you open up your terminal, yeah?
Before you move forward, I don't know if you see my screen. You see my screen?
Let me open it up. Sophia, yeah?
So here, like, when you ask the questions and you talk, how can you do that? Like, also, is this now, because you told, like, you spoke directly to the thing.
Oh, so you want to know how to do that?
Yeah, like, if I can just talk so I don't have to write.
So let me teach you how to do that. So this is actually a slash command now in Claude. So if you do slash voice and press enter, you can allow it access to your microphone. And then I can say, and then you can hold space and just say, hey Claude, what's going on? How are you? And then it will actually process it in the terminal.
That the marker keeps moving when I hold the space.
Yeah, so you should see when you hold down the space button, just hold it and start talking, and it will actually fill in the words as you put it in.
Are you filling in the words? No.
Did you run slash voice and press enter?
Yeah, is slash the thing that goes like that?
Yeah, so it's like the forward slash. You can see it on my screen.
And then you need to enter it. And, okay.
Yeah, and press enter. And then you'll see voice mode enabled, hold space to record.
Please pull up the last project.
Yeah, good. Did it work? Okay. So Sophia, I'm going to put you on mute for a second. And so yeah, that's like one useful tool that can kind of supercharge it. So I'll turn on voice, and then I'll just like talk to it, and it's a very cool feature that basically makes it super easy to enter things into the terminal. Okay. Now, this is one slash command that's worth knowing. And actually, I was going to show people this one today, so it's funny you're asking about it. Another one that's really useful, it's when you do slash, by the way. I think I taught this one inside of the class, but let's suppose that Claude is running and like it's building out something. You can always do slash by the way to ask a question, right? So you can always do it like, hey, what are you building? Or hey, by the way, like, I need to also do this thing. Do you have any recommendations? And so it can be really useful as Claude's running, so you can just ask a side question. Does that make sense? There we go.
Yes, that would be it. I've that command.
Yeah, you might have already learned inside the workshop, but that's another really good one to know. Another
question on it or the project specifically.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Like, should you use one terminal per project, or is it able to like?
Yeah. So the question is, should you use one terminal per project? So you can have multiple terminals open for the same project. Now, the only thing is that each project that you open, it's going to, you're basically going to be editing code inside of each one of those terminals. So let's pretend that you had 20 terminals open, right? And you had 20 agents running. Each one of those terminals is editing the same code files, right? And so you just have to be mindful of that. if one AI is working on the same page as another AI, right? It might be editing the same documents. So you totally can do it. You just have to be mindful of what the AI is doing. So for example, let's suppose you had one terminal open that was working on your pitch deck, right? And you know that's a part of the project that the other AI won't mess with, right? And then you had another agent that's working on something else, then you're probably okay. Where it can get a little bit sticky is if you have 5 terminals open and they're all working on the same page. Because one is going to have one goal, another one will have a different goal. And so the answer is yes, you absolutely can do that. But sometimes it's not the best move to do so. Does that make sense? Yeah. I will run multiple terminals when maybe I'll create a plan for something, right? And then we will also, I'll use one for planning and then one for building sometimes, and then vice versa. But normally, the thing is that inside of each terminal session, it creates what's known as a queue. So from top to bottom. So let's suppose I have one terminal open and I put in 20 commands, right? 20 things I want to get done. It will literally create its own queued system and go through those things from top to bottom, right? So as you're going through it, you don't really need to worry about doing it at the same time, because if you just throw it in as a message, it's going to add it to a queue and it will eventually get to it. Normally, if I have multiple terminals open, I'm normally working on either different parts of a project or on different projects entirely, right? If you have 5 terminals open and you're working on 5 different coding folders, that's totally okay. But it's normally just going to be a little different. What's up? You still at Wheelhouse? Hey, brother. So just to set the frame, I'm just doing a little onboarding for you guys, and then at 5 o'clock, we're going to get into the lessons part of the day, and then I'm going to teach you guys the stuff we're going to be learning, and I'm going to teach you some new skills. And then, afterwards, the skills will be available inside the portal, which you guys have already got access to. I can show it to you later. But yeah, let's just keep on answering questions. Maybe that's a better way to approach. Yeah.
So just technically, if you're building something out, so you plan something, you're building something, and it's like you eventually want to get to a product or something, is it continuously evolving the same piece of code, or is it creating a new version every time you go back to it?
Yes. So there's 2 sides to this. So if you are inside of a project with Claude and you ask it to make a modification or change, it's going to modify the code that's inside of those files. But because we set you up with this certain tool, it's called Git, right? You can actually say to Git, hey Git, save my progress, right? It will save the files exactly as they are today, right? You can make those changes and then save it again, and you can always come back to the previous files. So Git is it's a computer system that's like the standard around the world for organizing and coordinating across developers. And so anytime you're working on a project, you can just say to Claude, hey Claude, save my progress to this point, and it will save it, and you can continue working on it. So normally, as you are going through the setup process, or you're going through and iterating, let's suppose you did something magical and you want to save it, you just say to Git, hey Git, save my progress, and you can also add a message. So you can say, save my progress, and put in the message, I update the dashboard, does something cool, right? And you can always go back to that point. It's a good question. But if you want to, you can always just go into the project folder on your computer. In fact, you can just say to Claude right now, hey Claude, open up this folder so I can see the files. And it will open it up, and you will see files full of code that the AI has actually written. So everything that you're doing is saved on your computer. You can use code Git to save the progress. And then the next level of this, which by the way, I'm going to teach this next week, is called GitHub. So GitHub is a remote service that you can push code to. I think a couple of you already have this set up. I'm going to do a full lesson on this next week. We're going to set it up together. But right now, as you're going through the project, just say, hey, save my progress using Git, and you can always go back to that point. Does that make sense? It's a good question. Yeah. I think we just answer questions. I can give you guys access to the portal. Let's. What else is top of mind? What other questions have come up since the workshops we did? Go ahead. Yeah, Sophia, go ahead. Oh wait, I gotta unmute you. Hold on. I muted you. Go ahead.
Like when you said to pull up the last project, is this what you meant if you see my screen?
So I can only see your browser. You might have to unshare, then reshare, then share your whole screen.
So, there. Is this, so when we said to pick up the last bit, is this the last project?
So, Sophia, I'm looking at your screen. So yeah, this is the project. Yeah, for sure. It's the heat marking dashboard. And so you can always ask it, just if you're not sure, just be like, what do you see inside of this project? Right? And if you're gonna use voice, just mute yourself. Okay, before you do it. We don't want to listen to you run the prompt. Another thing you can do is you can actually ask Claude to open up the folder so that it can see the, just so you can double check it's in the right folder. Okay, that's another trick. So you can look at the code that's in there. What's up, Vanessa? You made it. Sorry about that. Vanessa, what's up?
This is my first time. It's my first time on Claude, so I'm actually quite proud.
You're killing it. Vanessa joined the workshop today.
On this thing, on this Discord thing. So I'll get it eventually.
You'll get used to it. So the reason we use Discord is so we can share screens. So I just wanted to set aside an hour for you guys and answer any questions that have come up since the workshop. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm going to teach you all some new skills. And all those skills are going to be available inside the portal after we're done as well. Okay? So go ahead and shoot out any questions you have about what you're building or what you're running into, and I'm going to answer them here. Okay?
I have another one, if no one's going to ask. Relation to GitHub, meaning, so when we post something, then that means that thing is live. We want to reiterate, we iterate on terminal, and then we kind of update that code, and then that's showing the live thing, right?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So when I can actually just draw this out for you, okay? So basically, can you guys still hear me? Yeah? Let me get some pens. Here. Just gonna wash this for you. Alright, we're gonna get the setup going. I'm still optimizing the space for streaming, so forgive me. Okay. So basically, there's a lot of different ways to save code. Okay? I'm going to show you is, I think this is the wrong thing. Hold on. Give me 1 second while I grab something. Give me 1 second, okay? Okay, can you still hear me? All right.
Yes, we can hear you.
It's not the right stuff. Sorry, my cleaner came when I was in London, and everything's in the wrong place. So basically, I'm gonna draw this out for y'all. Okay? And by the way, I'm gonna do this much more depth next week, but I'm just gonna give you a little preview, okay? Okay, do you see the whiteboard? All right. So this is your computer. This is you happily on your computer, smiling, okay? Right? So, on your computer, let me just zoom this in as well. Hold on. Boop. There you go. You can see it?
Patient.
Huh? Yeah, okay.
I said being patient.
Yeah, be patient. Okay. So, on your computer, you have something that's called Git. Okay? So every time you ask, is this backwards for you guys, or is it forwards? It's good? Okay. So every time you save something, you say to Claude, save this on GitHub, it's going to create what's known as a commit. Okay? And so each one of these is its own history. Okay? So if you like build a landing page and you say save that, it's going to be saved. If you then add a sign-up form and you're like, I want to save the progress, it'll be saved. And if you add another feature, it will also be saved. And if you want to, you can then say to Git on your local computer, hey, go back to the previous step. Right? So it's smart. All of the pages, all of the iterations are saved, and you can always go back in time. Okay? So then the question is, well, Nick, it's on my local computer, right? What happens if I spill coffee on my computer? Does my website go away? And the answer is yes, which is a problem, right? That's why we have something that's called Git Hub. Okay? It's like this little cat. Okay? Yeah, okay? So this is where we can actually take all of this code, we can push it to GitHub, and then it exists inside of the cloud, right? And so you have the code on your computer, and you have it backed up and saved to GitHub, so that if anything happens to your computer, it never goes away. Does that make sense so far? Okay? Now, the question is, let's suppose we wanted to deploy this to a website, right? So you can actually set it up, so GitHub automatically deploys this to your website, right? So let's suppose we're building an app like Shalani is. Let's suppose you're building a website or landing page. You can then make it so that every time you update the code on GitHub, and it comes from your local computer, it then automatically updates to the website. Does that make sense? Now the interesting thing is that the code is going to probably be different on your computer because you're working on it, right? And then once the work is hit a certain point, you might push it to GitHub, right? And then it might look different on GitHub as it does on the website, right? And so there's way you deliberately want to have what we call a local storage. You want to have a remote storage, and then you also want your production code. And these are 3 different layers, right? But we can make it so it's all automated between them. And I'm going to teach you guys more about this next week. Any questions so far? Go ahead. Yeah.
So, based on what you're building, though, is there a cost on the environment that you're building on? Like, where you're building the website or GitHub? Because, like, if you're building a full-blown app, surely there's an environment that you need to pay for. So,
the costs will vary, right? So, luckily, Terminal is free. Claude is between 20 to 90 euro a month.
Yeah.
Right? Also, there are free hosting services, right, that you can use. the thing is about software is that it's so common that there's so many companies competing for the space. There's probably a free version out there, but depending on what you are creating, you might want to go with a paid version, right? So for example, I'll just use my website, for example. I pay $0 for local development because I taught you guys, well, obviously I have Claude credits. I pay $0 for GitHub, and I pay $5 a month for my hosting service. And that's the total cost of hosting. Now, I also send a lot of...
What hosting service you use?
So I personally use Cloudflare. I do not recommend Cloudflare for most of you. Okay, it's a very advanced. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you know about Railway?
I do know Railway. So
Trouble with it.
So Railway is a fantastic service for hosting. Like, this is where we get into the nuances, right? So for example, like Shalini, Shalini, am I saying your name right, Habibi?
It's Shalini, yes.
Shalini, okay, great. So Shalini has to process like hundreds of emails, right? And so she needs computational power to do that. So for her app to run, right, Claude, and by the way, Claude made the recommendation, right? Claude recommended that she has a service called Railway, right? Which is a server that can process emails, right? And because I did your setup, I also know you're using Netlify to host the website. Okay, so Netlify is probably like $5 a month, and then Railway is also probably like $5 a month. Now, depending on what you are doing, everybody's going to be a little bit different. You might need a server to do some processing, right? But if you're just building a static website, you probably don't need that. And so one thing that Claude is world class at is planning exactly what you need to run your website. Okay, so obviously, like, I have a background as a CTO, I can help you find the right tooling, but depending on what you're building, you probably are going to need different technologies. Okay? Now, so go ahead, Sophia.
It's the next question, so I'm not going to disturb.
Cool. Anything else here before we move on?
Yeah, what's your take on Replit?
Can you repeat that?
What's your take on Replit?
Okay, so Replit is an incredible tool. They were the first ones to do like online, very beginner-friendly agentic building. I actually built a whole astrology app on Replit, where you can plug in your ex's charts, and you can actually do an analysis of all your past relationships to understand your bad astrological patterns. It's hosted on astrology.com.
I was literally this at the course that we had. I was like, should I just do this?
Yeah. Really? You were thinking that? So I built it, and I built it on Replit.
Where you like actually some form of dating app which has astrology behind it, so you like actually put people forward that make sense rather than looking backwards.
I mean, here you can actually see the site. I can put it on. I can put it in the chat. Here you
Just
go.
a clarifying question.
Does it work still?
If I'm building
Yeah, go ahead.
building an interface for the management of a hotel to be able to chat about the business and the financials,
Yeah.
would you use Replit as with an interface to connect everything and run?
So, okay, Replit is a different coding tool, but the weird part is Replit also uses Claude Code to generate the code. So it's, but it's really based in the browser. I wouldn't honestly. It probably can do the job.
What would you consider?
The thing is that you will get there with Claude Code and you will get there with Replit. I would say for the sake of this course and program, I probably would just stick with Claude Code because you're going to learn a lot of skills in the process, but there are a lot of advantages to those different tool sets, right? There's advantages.
Or maybe, like, since I started build on Replit and a bunch of stuff is already integrated and connected and APIs configured, maybe I can work on Git, do that stuff, and then later move it into Claude Code.
So this is a great time to go into plan mode and plan with Claude Code, right? Because there's a lot of different ways to use both technologies, and maybe because this conversation, what we're really talking about is what we call in technology technical debt, right? Saying like I've already built on this, and this system, so should I migrate to a new system? Or should I just continue building out the old way? And I would go into Claude Plan mode to figure out the pros and cons and the trade-offs of whatever approach you take. Now, luckily, because we live in the age of AI, the cost of starting over is very low nowadays. And so sometimes, and I would never have recommended this in the past, ever, as a CTO, but sometimes the best thing you can do in some situations is to literally start over. But again, I would look at, I would go into plan mode with Claude, expose what you've already built in Replit. It might ask for a link to the code base, it might ask for URLs, right? And then plan out the best use of both technologies. And by the way, just so you know, Replit uses Claude Code to generate its code. So it's kind of doing the same thing, it's just in a more cohesive ecosystem. And so there's no straight answer when it comes to what to do with old technology. It varies case by case. It's a good question.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining.
I have a question regarding my team because I was looking into different plans and it looks like you have to have minimum 5 seats to do the Claude team. You can't just add one-on-one. So I'm wondering, I think I'm just going to bring one girl from my team on straight away because of the thing that I created for the marketing. So is the best way for me to work with her to just have her set up her own thing and me have my own thing instead of working on Claude for the company? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like cheap as that, because then it's just $40 instead of, 5 seats that would be like over 100.
Yeah, so the question is how to optimize your cost for Claude.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when it comes to do I pay for this or do they pay for it, let me ask you some questions. Is she a full-time employee?
Oh yeah, it's not about them paying, it's me paying for sure. It's just more that when I looked into it, it looked like I had to have a team of 5 people for it to be worth going on the team subscription on Claude. And then my question to you is just that, because it looks to me like what makes most sense is that I have a pro and she has a pro because that's 20 euros each or pounds. And then I just wonder, does that matter? Because then we work on separate systems in one company. Does it have any negative things in terms of does it really matter?
So let me ask you some questions, and then I can fill in the back. So one, is she a full-time employee?
No.
She's a contractor?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah, but she works a lot. She's more than 2 days.
Got it. And then 2, do you want all of the projects and things you create inside of Claude, do you want to own that data?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it depends, because basically on a Claude Teams plan, every project she sets up, every prompt she runs, every connector she connects, you control her access to it. And so on a Teams plan, for example, you can set up a joint project. This is in the Claude desktop app, and then you can control access to that project or add new team members onto it. So it's a feature that's only inside of Teams. If that's not a so there's a couple things. One, it's really just data ownership and data sharing.
She will use copywriting and all that stuff and then export it and save it in our drive, I think. So it's not really going to matter what's in. I don't think she'll be saving things really. It's more like, hey, give me this and then export it, and then the export will be in our system.
Then I would just say, if you want to save the $60 a month for now, just have her have her own account. I think that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But when it comes to data ownership, there's always like, normally as an entrepreneur, you want to be able to control the data, right? Like if there's a key innovation that's been figured out, like, or something, you want to make it so that we have full control and access to that, just in case, God forbid, she ever decides to take another job, or, you want to keep your data safe. But I think for what you're doing, I think just starting out with 2 people until there's a use case. It's okay to start with individuals. It's a good question. What else is top of mind, y'all? Can't be that you guys have everything else figured out. Vanessa, you have any questions? I know you just did a whole workshop. Anything top of mind?
But I'm still processing. Hear all of this about, where to host the website, because I started building a website today, so it'd be great to actually go back and make another project or another folder and do just a landing page for now.
That's a good idea. Let me ask you, so the first thing you have to ask yourself when asking where do I host this is, my first question is, do you have a website already?
Yeah, I have my own personal, my consulting website, which is done on Wix. So I can probably undo that at some point and build my own and be able to host everything somehow together. But so my personal consulting website is welcomechaos.com.
Great URL. Welcome Chaos. That's dope.
And then the idea for the other thing, which is the more, the academic or the leadership and everything, the framework that I've been developing is called Actionism. So I have actionism.org. And
Awesome.
that's the one that I'd love to make a landing page for.
Okay, cool. So you want to host this on a different domain?
Yeah, I've got both domains. So yeah, I want to host it on another domain, and then I can link them, on the about, whatever, in the projects, in the Welcome Chaos Consulting, I can put that in there to send people there, whoever's curious, who comes in from the consulting side or from the actionism side, which is the more academic, executive, whatever, training, then somehow they can loop one back to the other, being me who originated the concept or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, my thing now is I think I should make, as soon as possible, just a landing page to start creating a presence for Actionism, and then all of the work that I started today continue doing.
Fantastic. I think that makes it super easy. So the hosting site I like to use, I recommend to begin with, for hosting like custom builds is called Netlify. So Netlify, yeah, it's super easy. They have a really generous free plan, and if you're hosting a custom domain, it makes it super easy to get it live and get it up. Okay.
Okay. And to make the landing page, that's a new project, right? With my
So it depends. I'll be honest with you. Like lightschool.com, I run everything through one folder. Okay?
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's.
I didn't think of a landing page when I started doing the project this afternoon for the website of Actionism. I didn't consider a landing page, so it's not in the order that it did.
Right. So I usually, back in the day, I would have said it's a different project. But
from scratch is what you're gonna tell me?
No. The weird part is, like, I run my entire business. I'm talking every single part of my business from one folder on my computer. And the weird part is, I actually do recommend taking that approach to begin with. And what I normally do is, for every section of the website, I actually put instructions inside of the folder. Let me explain. So at the top of my blog folder, there's instructions on how to design and write a blog. On the top of my folder for, updating my database, for example, there's instructions for what to do and what not to do with each new person that enrolls in the workshops, inside the program, and everything in between. We actually updated our Discord instructions today, and that's why you got messed up. So, sorry about that. But I think the better way to do it is to create different folders for different parts of the business, and then inside of each folder, put instructions for the bot to follow. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so on actionism.org, what are you planning to host? Is it going to be like educational material?
Yeah, so it's educational material. I want to create an online course that has, I read all the notes, hold on, that has, let me go back, because it says it actually does have, well, the build a landing page, all six, so there's 6 sections or 6 pillars to the concept.
Mm-hmm.
It suggested to connect the domain via Vercel.
Oh, so Vercel is also a really great, actually Vercel is also a really awesome tool.
Because you have to have a URL for Stripe or /clerk because there's a payment system.
Yeah.
And then
I actually like Vercel as well. I've used Vercel in the past. It's a very good tool. Actually, now that we're talking about it, because Netlify is just domain hosting, I would actually go with Vercel. Vercel is awesome. We love Vercel.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So follow Claude's instructions, basically.
yeah, that's basically it. I can give you. I'm familiar with all these technologies, so I can give you the trade-offs. But generally speaking, Claude is a very good guide when it comes to picking the best technology for what you're doing. Okay, you can always run it by me or put it in the campus chat, but Vercel is a great tool as well.
So if it's, just sorry Nick, just if it's saying here, okay, so scaffold next, we downloaded that, build a landing page, all 6 sections. If it says for number 2, build a landing page, I mean, I would love to have a landing page right away. Should I just do something separate very quickly to fill, to buy me time? Because I suspect this isn't going to be a 1-week job to build this whole website I'm trying to build.
Here's the weird part. If you wanted to build it by 7 o'clock, you could do it.
Because Claude told me it would take about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, so Claude this is important. Claude is going to sometimes gaslight you. Okay, like the AI is going to give you bullshit time constraints. That's not true. If you tell it to do everything and deploy it to Vercel, it will literally do it right now. So I say just ship it, and then at some point it's going to say to you, hey, you're going to say to it, I want to deploy this to the domain actionism.org through Vercel, and it will walk you through step by step how to do it. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how do I do that? Hold on, through Vercel. Okay, how do I tell it to do that? Do I do a / by the way, or because it's just telling me to keep on saying 1 for all the bash command things?
Yeah, so right now it's building the website, but then once it stops, it will provide a report on what it already did. And actually, I recommend letting it do its thing. And then at the end of it, it will say something like, hey, here's what I did. And then you're going to message it back and be like, now I want to deploy it to Vercel. Can you help me out? Can you help me do that? Okay?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, good questions though.
Is there any way of telling this thing to push 1 by itself all the time? Because I feel like
yes.
the last 2 hours.
Yes, there is. It's called dangerously skip permissions. So what you can do is, I'm going to send this skip. So this is how you do it. I'm going to send you this this link in chat. So before you start, I'm going to put this in the campus chat too. How to dangerously skip permissions. Okay, I can show it to you right now though. Okay, so let me share my screen real quick. Hold on. All right, let me do this. Okay. Oops. Hold on. Okay, can you see my screen? Hold on. So when I open up my screen, you're going to see the entire screen. Okay? You should be able to click into Nick. You see it in the Discord chat? Do you see my screen? You should be able to tap into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm inside of my Claude Code instance. So what I can do is I can do /exit. Okay? And you'll see that it's now restarted, right? But before I begin my session, what I can do is I can say Claude, and normally you press enter, but instead, what I want you to type in is -- dangerously skip permissions. Okay? And if you wanted to resume your previous session, you see this top line right here. You can just copy it in. Okay? So I'm going to copy and paste it. And then I can do space -- dangerously skip permissions. Okay? And so when I start my session, now as I am running it, it's going to ask me for way less permissions. It's not to say it's not going to ask you for any permissions, but rather it's to say that it's going to ask you for way less permissions. Okay? And so if you want to just like let the build just build, before you begin the session, you can just put in that command, Claude space -- dangerously skip permissions. Or if you wanted to continue your sessions with this on, you can do /exit, copy this line here, Claude -- resume. It will give you a session token, which basically is like, I want to continue the session. And then you just add at the end, dangerously skip permission. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, it now says deploy to Vercel.
Yep.
I go there without dangerously skipping permissions.
You can
Don't I first have to tell it with what is my domain, or it's going to ask me in the process?
It's going to ask. It should ask you in the process. It's not just. Or it's going to open up Vercel and like teach you. It's going to ask the right questions. Claude is super smart.
Sorry, sorry everyone, just a quick moment, because I'm now talking to me about GitHub, Vercel, and Next.js. I think we downloaded that already.
Mm-hmm.
And Stripe.
So yeah, it's going to.
It will walk me through all of those I need to register and whatever I need to do.
Yep, and if you get lost, just ask it. Just ask it. I'm actually going to do a deep dive on Git and GitHub next week. But even before that, you can begin the process today. And you can just ask it to get set up properly as you're going along. It's got all good questions, but you should be able to get a website up today.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering what we're going to be doing on Thursday's session.
So Thursday, I'm going to be going deeper into OpenClaw. It's another tool, and to get you guys set up on that. That's the plan for Thursday.
Okay, because I have a uni lecture that I cannot miss on Thursday, so the recording I'll just look at afterwards. Is that okay?
Yeah, so just to kind of show you guys around a little bit for all the newbies. So if you guys go to, I'm going to share my screen. So if you open it up, you can see it. So if you all go to lightschool.com, okay? Inside, you're going to find a button in the top right-hand corner. It should say log in. And so you can put in your email address that you used to sign up for the course, click send code, and it's going to shoot you an email login code. And inside of here, you're going to find each and every one of the lessons that we went through, and so much more. Okay? So every time, if you click Access Builders course, you're going to see a whole bunch of different lessons. Okay? And by the way, there's a search bar in the top right-hand corner. So if you don't know how to like skip permissions, you can just search that, and you'll see that it actually shows you the skip permissions. What I just explained to Vanessa is already inside of here. So I'm updating this portal every single week at the end of the week, creating individual lessons for every single thing I taught. So even if you can't make the live calls, just trust there's going to be a lesson that's going to be in this portal by the beginning of next week, walking you through everything I did. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. Yeah, so even if you can't make it, don't worry about it. You're never going to be too far behind. I'm working my ass off to keep you guys up to speed on every single thing that we are doing. So basically, I'm doing the in real life workshops, we're doing the online coaching, and I'm also making content, and the in-depth tutorials are all going to be inside of that portal. I also made it easy to search, so even if you're like, I don't know which lesson this is, just kind of search what you're trying to do, and it will bring up the most, the lesson that matches. And then you can also mark the lessons as complete so that you know that you did them. We're going to be making constant updates because this stuff is moving very, very fast. Cool. So I got, okay, so it's 5 o'clock now. Are there any other last questions before we let in everybody else? Great, guys.
Yes, I have a question. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Hit me.
So regarding my website, every time I try, it's still the same like Google connecting the Gmail problem.
Yeah.
So every time I try and connect it.
Oh, I think we lost her.
I'm trying to find it so I can show it to you. It says that there's an internet server error.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do.
I don't know how to tackle this.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a screenshot of what is happening and then give it to Claude and have it guide you through fixing the problem. Okay? That's normally going to be the solution you're going to run into, which is like basically take a screenshot, you can drop it directly into terminal, and let Claude guide you through the process of fixing it. Does that make sense? What's up, everybody? And if you need additional help, Shalini, just put it into the Canvas chat, and then I can help you out later. Okay, but genuinely, the best solution is going to be to just like take a screenshot and ask Claude. Okay, it's gonna walk you through step by step. Can you hear me? All right.
I can't hear either.
Me neither.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, so the answer is, I'm gonna repeat this. Take a screenshot of the issue you run into, give it back to Claude, and it's gonna help you debug the problem. Does that make sense? And if you run into any like really deep issues, just put it into the campus chat, and then I can also help you along the way if Claude can't. Okay? It's usually best to share screenshots of what's happening on your screen and what's happening inside of Claude. I want to see what Claude is telling you to do and then what the app is actually telling you to do. I want to see both, okay? Great. All right, so we are entering into the second half of the segment. Welcome everybody else back to Light School. We have some new faces today. So why don't we just kick off with a round of introductions? You guys, so all the newbies, hop on, say hi, and we can just do a little quick round of intros for all the newbies. And you guys will introduce yourself, where you met, what you're building, and we'll just I'll let you guys handle it. So just go ahead and unmute yourself and let's go. So go ahead and start.
My name is Sophia. I did a development course at Chloe's house, and I'm building a marketing master brain for my company, which is like the KPIs and all the different data sets from around. So we can ask my small marketing team, we can ask and make sure that every action that we're doing is very aligned with actually what we want to be doing and which KPIs we're focusing on. I have a wellness company.
Hi everyone, I'm Shalini. I joined this program during the London Light School session, and I'm building an AI platform which searches through your emails to plan your travel itinerary. It looks through your boarding passes, hotel bookings, flight bookings, and puts it all in one place. And right now it's a website, but I'm hoping to turn it into an app soon.
Hey guys, I'm Arbessa, also started last weekend in London. I'm building out a sports anti-piracy tool, the solution of which is still in the works.
All right. All right. Is that everyone who's new? Vanessa, you there? You want to introduce yourself?
Where am I? Okay, hello. Yeah, so I'm Vanessa. I started today actually. I went to the course this morning at Wheelhouse, and I'm building an academic-based leadership tool. I have no clue really what I'm doing, but I'm getting there.
Well, this is going to supercharge what you guys are doing. Okay, cool. So I think, oh no. All right, well, great. Welcome to all of the newbies. This is, we can do further round of introductions, but I know we've already spent a lot of time together today. So so here's the way that this has worked for everybody who's new. So first of all, even for those who have already joined, I've now launched a portal that you guys can now see. So if you go to lightschool.com and you can actually log in if you check out my screen, I've created now a portal where I am updating at the end of every week. I've created a portal of lessons, and you can log in using the email that you used to sign up for the program. So let's pretend you wanted to set up paper design, for example. You can just search design, and there's going to be in-depth tutorials showing you step-by-step instructions. Some of them have a video, some of them are just instructions, but you can basically follow each one of these. And so my commitment to you guys is at the end of every week, I'm going to update this portal with all the new skills that we are learning. So even if you can't make a call, don't worry about it. By the end of the week, you're going to get access, the same access as everybody else, to all the new skills that I'm teaching. Okay? And so I'm also going to be adding in new features, affiliate links, all kinds of stuff into the portal. It's all built agentically, meaning Claude Code and I made everything. And so instead of using Kajabi or anything else, I'm building it from scratch to really facilitate your learning experience. Okay? So even if you can't join live, go into the portal, and I will drop a message in the Discord once those lessons are available. Okay? Sound good? All right. So for those of you who are joining today live, let me look at the lesson plan. Okay. So first thing I want to dive into is going to be here we go. Is a little tool that is called Claude Memory. Okay? So basically, what this enables us to do is that it basically allows Claude to remember what we are working on between sessions. Okay? So whenever you start Claude, right, from session to session, you are getting a fresh start, right? Even though Claude can go into the project and read the files, it doesn't remember what it used to work on, right? Now, having embedded memory inside of your Claude can be very, very, very useful, okay? And so I'm gonna walk you through right now exactly how to set this up so that you can get the most out of your Claude memory. Does that sound good? Okay, so I'm going to share my entire screen, okay? And you should be able to see it above, okay? And I've already created a in-depth tutorial about how to do this, so I'm gonna look it up. Okay, so this is the link to the setup process, okay? And what it's going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to set up memory, okay? Oh wait, here it is, sorry. So this is the link to the plugin that we are going to set up together, okay? So it's called Claude Mem. I experimented with a lot of different tutorials, but this is the best memory tool that I've found so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into the chat, okay? I'll also throw it in the campus chat so you guys can click in as well, okay? Link to Claude Mem for setup, okay? But I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through the exact setup process together. And I'm on a fresh computer, okay? So, basically, if you open up the GitHub, and GitHub is where code is stored, right? You're gonna see this specific command right at the top. So, it says /plugin marketplace add the .mac/Claude Mem, okay? And all we need to do is copy this specific line, and I'm going to throw it into the chat right now, okay? And I'll throw it into here as well, all right? And what I want you to do is I want you to copy and paste this into your terminal, okay? With Claude running, okay? So I'm going to click enter, right? And you'll also notice that it is adding a marketplace. So marketplaces are big repositories of code that Claude and others host that allows us to add really useful integrations. And so we are adding this marketplace, the .mac/Claude Mem. And once you run that command, it should say successfully added marketplace, the .mac. Okay? Now I'm going to continue. And at the end, I'll stop for questions and debug anything. But the next thing we want to do is go to the second part of this, which is /plugin install Claude Mem. Okay? And you're also going to notice that through this process, it's going to ask you, right, do you want this for you? Do you want this for collaborators? Do you want this for all these different things? I just want you to install for you at the user scope, right? And remember, we navigate the terminal by going up and down. And so I'm going to say install for you, user scope, okay? And you'll notice that it says install Claude Mem, run reload plugins to activate. So what I'm going to do, third step, is do /reload -plugins, as Claude told me. Press enter, and then it's going to activate the plugin, okay? So what does this actually do, okay? So what this does is when we are moving between different instances of Claude, it's going to keep a memory of what we used to work on. So let's pretend last session we were building on a landing page. right? Right now, if you were to run Claude, it's going to read the files and know that a landing page is present, but it's much more useful to already have that embedded memory. Does that make sense? And it's a very useful tool to kind of keep track of, like the things we are working on in real time. And it's very useful because now Claude has a memory that can persist between sessions. Okay? So why don't you guys, everyone successfully getting it? Can you drop that plugin here in the chat to copy paste? So Daniela, the commands are right above. It's plugin/marketplace add the clock mem, and then I'm going to put in the second one here too. So all you need to do is open up Claude, run it inside of your terminal, and drop in these specific commands separately, and then you need to do /reload plugins. Okay? And at that point, Claude memory will be installed, and it's going to remember every single thing that you have ever worked on. Okay? So just run these 3 commands, and go ahead and ask me a question if you guys run into any issues, okay?
Where do I find the commands?
So they're in the chat, in this classroom chat on the right, and I can just go ahead and I'll put them in the campus chat too. So the first one is, here, I'll just organize these for you.
I don't see the first chat you're talking about. Where is that one? It's not the campus chat.
So I'm going to put them all into the chat inside of the campus. It's kind of confusing because Classroom has its own chat, which is kind of, then we have campus chat, and then reload plugin. So it says the plugin not found in your marketplace. So the first thing you're going to want to have to do is run the first command that is /plugin marketplace, and you have to add that marketplace. Okay? So if you I'm going to put them in the campus chat. So all 3 setup instructions are inside of the chat. So this is what you need to run. Okay? There, 1, 2, 3. So plugin marketplace add the .mac /Claude mem. 2 is /plugin install Claude mem. And 3 is /reload plugins. So it's in the campus chat and it's in the chat for the classroom. Okay? I'll pause there for.
Do you mean that I copy paste the plugin marketplace and the .mac and then enter, and then I put in that longer thing above?
Yeah, so you're going to run each one individually. So first you're going to do /plugin marketplace, the second one /plugin install, and the third one is /reload plugins. Now,
when you enter the plugin marketplace and .mac.
Can you repeat that?
When do you add, because first you put the --plugin marketplace at the .mac --global, and then you put the 1, 2, 3. Where is the top one going?
Okay, so let me walk you through it again. Okay? So I'm going to share my screen. It's okay. We're all learning together here. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So if you look at my screen, you're not going to do 1. You're going to do just /plugin marketplace, add the Claude mem, enter. Then you're going to copy the second one, which is /plugin install Claude mem. And then you're going to do 3, which is /reload plugins. And then you're all set up. Okay?
But you sent the link that was above there. We're not going to put that one. The one that was from the top.
No, now you can just run these 3 commands and you should be good to go. I extracted these commands from the link.
Okay. Because I can't access GitHub still, so it doesn't matter for the session. It doesn't work on my computer.
You can't access github.com?
Oh no, in the app for the computer.
Yeah, so we're not gonna go into that today, but we can,
okay.
Did you take it, but put it in campus chat if you need more help there, okay? Okay, has everyone run these 3 commands? Anyone running into issues?
Question in general.
Yeah?
Does Claude can't remember if you don't have
again?
So every single Claude session that you start, it's a fresh session, so it's new. Okay? Now, the thing is that Claude, when you open it up inside of a project, it can read all of the files, right? So it can read and these are just text files, and the AI is very good at reading it, so it might look like from your perspective, it's remembering what's going on, but the truth is, it doesn't have persistent memory from session to session. Now, with this tool, it's actually going to remember everything that you used to work on. It will kind of leave its own notes and its own paper trail that it can use later. So some of the things that I've seen it. Okay, Marcy, you are on a PC, so I want you to plan this or throw this into ChatGPT or go to plan mode and figure out with Claude how to fix it. Because PCs might be a little bit different than installing on a Mac. I haven't seen that one. You also might want to restart Claude. You might want to close the terminal, reopen it, and restart it, okay? Before it might look like it has memory, but now it actually does. And so some of the things it's gotten very good for me, it kind of knows my tone of voice. It remembers I don't like to use M dashes in copy. It also knows every time now whenever I make a folder, to always add instructions at the top. So this enables Claude Code to get to know you over time, right? And I just find it to be a very useful tool. And you can also ask it about past sessions. So you can be like, hey, remember that time we did this, this, and this? And so I find it to be really useful for a lot of different reasons. And so I just wanted to upgrade your terminals to do that. Now, just so you know, it might not be apparent it's installed or working right away, but once you start running sessions, right, you're actually going to see when you start up Claude, there's going to be a list of all the past things that have happened. And it's going to begin remembering what you're doing. Okay? So, did everyone successfully set it up? Our Windows friends, we might have to debug a little bit more in depth. We can do that another time.
I had to just disconnect. We need to share the shortest version to set it up again.
Can you repeat that?
Could you share the first step? I have to disconnect for a second.
So all three steps are inside of the campus chat. One plug, it's in both chats, the 3-step process, okay? Here it is again. You want to run each one of these commands individually. Now, zooming out, you're actually learning a couple of things. One is how to install a marketplace. And then the other one, yeah, exactly. Click install for you user scope, Wyatt. That's a 4th step, okay? So yeah, install for you user scope, okay? So you're not only learning how to install a Claude Med, but you also notice there are marketplaces, right? And so if you ever come across a tool or a plugin, you now know how to install a marketplace, and there's a lot of marketplaces popping up, right? I'm also thinking about launching a Light School one, just with all of our specific plugins and tools, just to be able to get people in very easily, okay? But now that's set up, there's not really much to do there. Just every time you go back to Claude, it's going to remember what you're doing, and it will compound over time, okay? So the next thing I want to show you guys is very cool. I think it's very cool. You guys might have seen me use, I just showed this to the newbies, but I'm going to show it to you guys now. It's a new command that just came out from Claude. They launched it this week. So if you guys check out my screen, what you can now do is you can do something that's called /voice. Okay? So if you do /voice and turn it on, okay, /voice, it will say voice mode enabled. Okay? Hold space to record. So now when you're inside of your terminal, I can just be like, hey Claude, can you help me turn the Claude mem setup into a tutorial for my website with the 4 steps above and a link to the GitHub repo where we got the steps. And you can see if I release the spacebar, it's going to actually put that into terminal. And I find this to be a much more fun way to interact with Claude. There are obviously other solutions, like another one that I have, it's called Super Whisper, but it's a paid tool. But luckily, our friends at Anthropic just put this in to Claude, so we can actually do voice natively, which is pretty dope. Yeah, exactly. Goodbye, Whisperflow. The thing is with Whisperflow as well as Super Whisper, they work between different apps, but voice works only in the terminal. But it's a very useful tool because typing is just kind of meh. It feels way more like you're in the future when you can actually talk to this thing. So I wanted to show you guys that little quality of life tool. And all you have to do is run /voice to run it.
Sorry, do you have to hold it the entire time while you're talking? Like, for example, I move between screens, so maybe I wouldn't hold it the entire time. I have Whisperflow too, so maybe I stick with that then.
Yeah, if you have Whisperflow, that tool works just as well. So does Super Whisper. I wanted to show you this because it's baked directly into the command line. Also, here's another thing that's interesting with Claude plugins and things that Anthropic releases. Normally, this is not the end of the feature, okay? They're probably going to add more features on top of what voice can do. And so I just wanted to show you guys that because it might become relevant later, or if you don't have a paid subscription to Whisperflow or Super Whisper, it makes coding more fun. Also, another fun way to use this thing, which nobody really talks about, is if you are super fucked up, like, I don't know, maybe you're drunk one night or you had a late night at the club, you can come home and instead of like having to type on Claude, you can just do voice and just run something crazy. It's also fun for showing your friends stuff. So just putting that in your radar, if you're feeling a little bit woo, right? Like try the voice because you also might notice another way I use this actually is I will read passages from books. And so I'll put in like an interesting line from a book, I'll run it and maybe use it to generate a piece of art. And so it can be a very fun tool to like show off, or if you're introducing somebody to the technology, it's way more fun than like typing it in. And you can expect that Claude is going to update this thing and make it super cool later on. I'll pause for questions, comments, concerns about voice. Okay, cool. So that's the second thing I want to show you guys. And by the way, don't worry, by the end of the week, I'm going to have tutorials on each one of these things uploaded in the portal for you guys to access. So even if you guys can't make the live calls, I'm committing to always keeping the portal updated within a week of the lesson, okay? So the third thing I want to show you guys is basically we are now, for some of us, we're getting to the point where we are actually building and deploying things. Raise your hand if you deployed something live to a website. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and I know there's a couple of others in the group. So Claude actually launched another feature. This is especially important if you are building live websites, right? So a lot of times, especially if they are client-facing, or let's suppose it's just a tool for ourselves, right? We have to make sure our websites are secure, right? We don't want people maliciously logging in. We don't want them getting API keys that they can do things with. And we want to make sure that what we put out into the world is safe, right? And so luckily, our friends over at Anthropic, I'm going to open up my screen, launched a new feature that's called Security Review. And all you need to do to run this is do /security-review, okay? And it's going to run a complete and total security review of our code base. Okay, so I'm going to go into my Light School website. I'm going to launch Claude, and I'm going to do /security review, and I'm going to let it run. Okay, and so normally what I'll do is I will. By the way, this code is out of date. It's not up to date, but like here's the command. I'm going to throw it into chat. Run a security review of your website. So let's suppose you are building something and you want to bring it live. And what I want you to do is just like make sure to run this specific command regularly. And so it can actually show you some of the security reviews and vulnerabilities. Now I run this regularly and it says no vulnerabilities found. Okay, now again, this probably only matters if you are deploying a website live, but if you are bringing something into the world and you're worried about, you know, all the things that can go wrong with software, especially with AI hackers and things like that, it can be a very good thing to run regularly, especially if you are pushing an update that has to do maybe with email, right? Or a form field, or some sort of login, right? This tool is baked into Claude. It's a different model that is specifically designed for reviewing security parameters. And so, you know, if you have company data that might be exposed, if you are doing something, this is a very good tool to run. Now, obviously for me, it didn't find any vulnerabilities, right? Because I've run this a couple of times. But if it comes back with vulnerabilities, a couple of things will happen. One, it's actually going to give a vulnerability score. And so it's going to be like, this is a 8 out of 10 vulnerability, right? Or maybe it's like a 3 out of 10. What I normally will do is just say to Claude, I'll just say fix it. And it will go through the process of fixing the security vulnerability. And it might also prompt you to do something, right? It might ask you to go update something on the website, maybe add a password protection or something like that. But I'll usually run these when I'm working on features that can be, you know, have to do with privacy or emails or anything that's data related. So I wanted to show you guys this tool because it's good to run, especially if you're in the process of about to launch a website. Okay? So I'll pause there for questions. And Lucy says, does this work for apps we create as well? Yeah, it works for anything. So as you are creating anything, you can run security review on it, and it's going to review it all the same. It doesn't really matter what it is. By the way, if your website or your app is not live, meaning it's not on the App Store or if it's not on the public internet, you probably don't need to worry about this as much. But it was really interesting because they launched this feature probably like a week and a half ago. Today is, for those watching past, today is March 17th. And when they launched this feature, all of the big security companies, their stocks just plummeted because there's an assumption that Claude can do it better. And so just remember to run this command as you're getting ready to deploy something, okay? I'll pause there for questions. Go ahead.
For the marketing tool I created, is this something, because I tried to put it into the Claude or the terminal, but that's not the place to put it, right? Because it didn't come anything out of it.
So you have Claude running, and so okay, this is also important. So sometimes Claude might not be in the correct folder. So what I normally will do is I will actually open up Claude, and I will say to Claude, hey, can you open up the website project I'm working on and go into that folder. So sometimes when you start Claude, it might not be in the right folder. And so what I normally recommend doing is running this command and just make sure it's inside the right folder. Okay, now maybe there actually is no security vulnerabilities and you're good to go. But you also, when you start Claude, make sure to run this command, to make sure it's inside the right directory.
But I opened up the marketing dashboard and it says error bash command failed for pattern.
So sometimes you have to run the command again, and just make sure it's in there. Claude doesn't, it fails sometimes, and normally what I say is just like run it again. And if you're ever in doubt is if it's in the right folder, just ask it, hey Claude, what do you see inside this folder? Okay? But it's not going to work every time. Claude will fail, and sometimes you just need to do it again. It's pretty normal for that to happen when working with these tools.
Do you see my screen? Does it still says no?
I'm looking at your screen. It says, here's what's in the folder. Yeah, and perfect. Okay, command failed. Can you make it bigger, please?
How do I do that?
So here's what I would do. Press Command ++ to make it bigger on your keyboard. Command ++. Okay, so here's what I would do. Take the error that it gave you, copy it, and put it back in Claude. And just say fix this. Okay? Say fix this. Yeah, and put in fix this. Yeah. So there might just be a problem with the way that Git is set up. Yes, and don't ask again. Number 2. And sometimes, so you can't click, you gotta use the, there you go. So sometimes when running a tool or a setup, it's going to go through the process and we'll actually figure out how to fix it. Now, Sophia, and we worked with your computer a lot. It's trying to get connected to GitHub.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah, no, I said is that okay?
yeah, this is the same issue we ran into before.
Okay, cool.
And so, yeah, this is the same issue we ran into because Sophia's computer doesn't like GitHub, for all those who don't know. But yeah, it's not going to work every time, and there might be different reasons for that, and everybody's computer is different. So anytime that Claude gives an output error, normally what I recommend doing is taking that error and plugging it back into Claude and asking Claude to fix the error. It normally will fix it itself, but sometimes you have to do it again. Okay?
I have a question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So when I'm trying to run the /security review, this won't work because my website is still on the local disk, right? So it only matters if it's connected to like a proper domain or like in an app.
Good question. So the security review, it will still run it even if it's not deployed to a public website. But when it's deployed to a public website, that's when it becomes critically important to run. Okay? So it still will run a local security review, but you just want to make sure, or it should do that, but it becomes much more important once the website is live.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, so you can run that command at any point in what you're making, but again, like once there's a URL on the open internet that somebody can actually log into the app or sign up for something or whatever, that's when security matters. Okay, and this tool is going to help you make sure everything we create is working. Wyatt is running into, so Wyatt, I would just take the screenshot and throw it into the Claude desktop app and ask it to help you debug. So we have a couple people in here who are on Windows, and so it's always going to be a little bit of a different process. But Bun is a compiler system used by JavaScript. Wyatt, you might also want to open up Claude and then go into plan mode and just give it, well now it has memory, so now it's going to remember you're on a Windows computer, and just ask it for the easiest way to install Bun. Zooming out. Here's the interesting thing. If you run into a problem inside of Claude Code, you can literally just copy the output of the problem, put it back into Claude Code, and it will give you instructions on how to fix itself. It knows itself really well with the code, and so you can always run that same command and the error that you're running into inside of Claude, and it will literally begin the process of fixing itself and give you step-by-step instructions on how to do so. So even as like you're sharing your bugs, you're more than welcome to do that. But also remember that you can actually take a screenshot, put it into Claude, and it will help you debug whatever you're running into. You can also copy the error, put it back into Claude Code, and it will help you through the process of figuring out whatever's going on. So just keep that in mind, okay? Always run it through Claude first, because it is code itself, it knows its own metaphorical body. It's going to be able to help you through that process, okay? Great. Any other questions on security review before we move on to the fourth skill?
I just tried to run security review and it says error.
So take the error and whatever it says, take a screenshot of it and put it back into Claude and ask it how to fix it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, like I want to really push your guys' agency. So anything that I teach you, the first step is always going to be to any error that you get, whether it's from the terminal or on the website that you're creating or in the tools you are making, just take a screenshot of it and put that back into Claude and describe the problem, and it probably can figure out its own solution. It's really smart and it knows how to debug. So anytime you run into it, just remember that loop. Okay, remember to always continually lean on Claude for debugging. That's what we call it in software engineering. It's called debugging, right? Anytime you have a bug, throw it back to Claude and it's going to help you with the solution, okay? Any other questions on security review before we move on to the fourth skill? Okay, cool. All right, so this is the next thing I want to show you guys, especially for those beginners. I kind of touched on this last week, but I want to go much more in depth this week because I think this is a very underrated thing. So I'm going to share my screen, okay? Now, I'm going to open up Claude, okay? And what I'm going to do is, we're going to stack our skills this week. So I'm going to do /voice, right? And, oops, it's now disabled. /voice again, and it's going to enable it. Now, a lot of us, what happens is that we are creating things, right? And the truth is, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of examples on the open internet that are very similar to what we have already created, okay? If you have run into a problem, or you are trying to start a business, or you are working through something, there's probably really good documentation, website examples, and a lot of things on the open internet that we can pull from, right? And so normally what we call this is user research, okay? Or competitor research. But Claude, because of the power of it, can do this a lot better than we can, okay? So I'm going to show you guys how I supercharge my user research and actually use it to iterate my website. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, and this is going to be a good use case for this. So I'm going to exit Claude, okay? And what I'm going to do is before I begin, I'm going to type in Claude --dangerously skip permissions. Okay? Now, let me be very clear here. Okay? That command should only be used in certain contexts. Okay? And this is one of them. Another thing you guys are going to notice is that because I have Claude memory set up, you see how it's now giving me this feedback in this report when I start Claude. It says it navigates the Light School directory. It learned the project is here. It confirmed the presence of the project. You see how it's remembering what we just worked on? This is what your terminal is now going to look like every time that you open up Claude. It's going to give you a report of the last couple of things that it worked on, okay? But that's not why we're here.
Mine doesn't look like that.
So you have to exit Claude And then what you're going to do is you're going to run Claude -- dangerously skip permissions. Okay? And it should look like this. Now, if it doesn't look like this, it's probably because you haven't ran a new command. Okay? And because it hasn't established any new memory. Okay? So I'm just going to put these instructions in chat. To Claude dangerously skip permissions. Okay? And here's what I'm going to do.
Turn on precise location.
Shut up, Siri. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Okay? I'm going to put it into voice mode. We're compounding our skills. Okay? Let's disable and enable it. And I'm going to say, hold down spacebar, and now it's listening. I'm going to say, I want you to go to the internet, find every single AI group coaching offer that you can find, only focus on high ticket offers that are similar to mine, and I want you to do a competitive analysis and be critical of the website, copy, funnels, pricing, and offer for 10 competitors that you find, and make sure they are very close to my niche. And I want you to create a folder called competitor analysis. Put all of the competitor analysis inside of that directory and come up with a list of high quality suggestions and tasks for you to work on in order to update my website. Quite a large prompt, okay? Now I'm going to just share this with you inside of chat, okay? Now I don't want you to run that exact prompt as is. Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to customize it for yourself or use voice mode to run it, okay? And now I'm going to click go. And so what Claude is going to do is going to find a list of competitors that are very similar to my offer. Remember, Claude has the context of what we are creating. It has access to the code. It's going to read their copy, check their pricing, and it's going to create a massive competitor analysis that is unique to my business. And it's also going to create suggestions based on what it found for me to update my website. Now, in the past, when we would normally run these sort of competitor analysis, what would you do? You would go to ChatGPT, you would go to Google, you would go through this long process of going out and finding all these different things, right? Well, with this prompt, it can actually scan every instance if you wanted to. I normally just start with 10, right? But what it can do is it can use its web lookup tool to go look at different competitors, critically analyze their website, and then basically figure out what are some missing pieces of what I'm doing. So Sophie, I know you have a couple of wellness studios, right? So I would prompt it to look at other wellness studios, maybe even in Sweden, right? Or maybe like first like markets in New York, right? To go get feedback on it. Lucy, I know that you are building a program combined with software, right? What are some other trainings that are out there? What are the tactics they are using? What is their pricing, right? So this can be a very useful hack for us to let Claude do the digging work and to actually critically analyze the website. Now, obviously, the prompt I gave you, it's going to give you a master to-do list, right? It's going to provide us with a list of things that it can done. There's a couple of options. One is you just let it run the updates to the website. But actually, I think the more powerful thing to do is to read the report that it outputs, okay? Because it's going to identify gaps in the market, and you can also see all of the things that the other competitors are doing wrong. And so a lot of people think, oh, I should copy my competitors, but I disagree with that advice. I think the better thing to do is to look at what your competitors are not doing. What are the weaknesses in terms of their offer, in terms of what they are doing? And then I recommend really critically analyzing, focusing on all of the things that the competitors do very, very poorly. Like Wyatt, I know that you have a camper van company, right? Maybe the other camper van companies don't provide 24-hour support. Maybe like checkouts are really difficult, right? And so what I normally like to do is I like to critically analyze competitors and then focus on all the things they're not doing. For example, I ran this prompt for Light School, and very few of the other competitors offer live coaching and support. They're normally just like do-it-yourself programs and courses, right? And they also don't help you set up your computers, right? So we filled in that gap to make it super easy to get onboarded. And so it's an easy way, if you're thinking through, it's like, what's the pricing of my thing? Run this prompt and just focus on pricing. If you're thinking about what is the right format for what I'm making, like maybe ask the prompt to check out if it has an app, if it has a website. There's a lot of different ways to use this, but it's this interesting shift in the geometry where normally it's like from outside in, we go do some competitor analysis, if we do competitor analysis, right? But versus like Claude now can go scan, if you want to, I start with 10, but you can scan 100 competitor websites and just figure out what they're doing well and not doing well. I will pause there for questions. If someone's talking, I can't hear them. Unmute.
Hey, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What you were just saying about like how to prompt it, can you write that somewhere?
Yeah, so it's in the chat. So if you open up the classroom chat, it's over to the right. And then I can also copy it into the campus chat so it's easier to find, okay? Sorry about that.
It was just more the way we're structuring how to, like, what questions to ask. I thought it was like, I kind of didn't get it because I was focusing on the prompts. But like, you know, how to ask the right questions.
Yeah, so actually this also would be an interesting place to, you know, maybe try plan mode. You know, if you're doing like a big, if you're doing a big competitor analysis and you're not sure what to focus on, you also can use the plan mode, the plan mode to figure out, you know, what questions should I be asking, right? Like based on what you know about my business, and Sophia, you have a whole library with all of your stuff in it, right? What are the specific parts of the business I even should be doing research on? So you can go back into plan mode to figure out what the prompt should even be before running it. I'm just giving you one example, right? The things that are, so zooming out, a lot of us are entrepreneurs, a lot of us are solving business problems, right? And so what I normally recommend doing is, if you look at your business kind of like a chain, it's like links in a chain, right? Focus on whatever the weakest link is right now, right? And just get super dialed in on solving that specific part of the chain and make the whole thing stronger. Okay? And so, obviously I gave you guys a very general prompt, but you can use the same thing to do pretty much anything. Like, AK, I'm just gonna call you AK. You are building out like an investor deck, right? To help stop sports streaming piracy, right? So maybe your prompt is go look at 100 decks of people who are in this space and go analyze it and give me feedback on mine. Right? Or Shalini, I know you're building out a SaaS tool that's going to be for nomadic travelers. Maybe you want to find pricing, right, and different models that works for them. The use case is going to vary, but really I think you should be focusing on finding good data and figuring out ways that other companies who have invested a lot of money and time and have maybe even bigger audiences have figured out solving that problem. So this is a very powerful way to, instead of the prompts coming inside out, right, I define the problem, I create it, maybe the better way is to go scan the internet and find other things we can do. I'll pause there. Any other questions, comments, concerns on this skill? Okay, so I want to show you guys the level 2 of this, okay? And by the way, use this mindfully, okay? So once the competitor analysis is done, I'm opening it back up my screen. The next step beyond this is to you can do something else with this, okay? So what I can actually say is, I'm gonna put in another prompt, do voice mode, wait. Okay, I'm gonna hold down. All right, now once the competitor analysis is complete, what I want you to do is take the top 10 suggestions and I want you to create me one page with navigation on the left where I can see you actually implement all of the suggested changes to my website, and I want to be able to click through them so that I can actually see what this looks like being implemented into my project. Okay? And so what you can do is, even beyond just like getting a nice competitor analysis, a really cool feature of this, it's not letting me copy too well. A really cool feature of this is to actually ask it to build out the pages so that you can actually see the progress, which is pretty dope. I'm really struggling to copy this. Hold on. Here we go. So this is the, wait, hold on. My terminal's not letting me copy. Please hold. Okay. Okay, hold on. So another cool thing about this approach is that even beyond the AI giving me like a really in-depth analysis, what this allows us to do is actually once the analysis is complete, it can actually, this is the prompt, I'm just going to put it into chat. It can actually build it into our website so that we can see what this feedback even looks like in our specific branding. It's pretty cool. And so obviously like my research prompt is still running. It's going to take some time to run. But at the end of it, I'm not only going to have a really in-depth competitor analysis, it's also going to build out pages based on the suggestions that it created. Or this might be feature sets for your app. Or this might be, Sophia, like advice for the next steps in the business, right? So this is a very good way to, basically get the best context for what we were doing. So Lucy asked, this won't work if we built our website in WordPress. It's only if we built our website with Claude. So Lucy, what you can do is you just need to give the context for your business to Claude in some way, right? So for me, obviously I have my whole website that's inside of a folder with everything we do. But for you, you can actually say to it, go to lucylou.com, whatever it is, and make an in-depth report, read the whole website, and save that to a file. You can also upload a PDF of your offers. Actually, Lucy, you made me a whole kit for your business when we did our one-on-one session. Okay? So I would just give it access to that, and then all you need to do is provide the context for the thing that you're creating. It doesn't matter what format it's in. Okay? And it will still go ahead and find it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have trouble giving it context, but it cannot make edits, right? Because it's in WordPress, so it will just tell me what I need to edit. True. But you could say to it, create the pages in the style of insert your URL, and it will still do it locally. And by the way, there is ways to upload this stuff to WordPress. I think you just got to go into plan mode Claude to figure out the best way to do it. I'm personally not a WordPress guy. I used WordPress in 2009 to build my dad's charity website. Man, I spent hours fighting with PHP. I wasted 2 days because there was a space above a file that shouldn't have been there, and it took me 2 days to find that bug. But the thing is that you can still make it in the style, and it can still generate the ideas, right? Okay.
Yeah. I'll pause there again for questions. Any other questions on this specific skill? Alrighty then. Okay, so these are the 4 things I wanted to show you guys today. Again, I'm going to add these into the portal. So you're going to have in-depth tutorials inside the portal once they become available. Let's take just 5 minutes break. I'm going to get some water. Everybody can use the bathroom. And then we're going to come back. And then I'm going to do another hour of just open questions, coaching, help, support. Sound good, everybody? All right, great. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, cool. Open questions. What's cooking? How can I be helpful, everybody?
How do you create different folders?
So the easiest way to do that is to open up Claude and just prompt Claude to create the folder for you. And so Claude it can create folders for you, and it can also change folders. So if you're not in the right project folder, you can ask it to go into the right one. Making a folder inside of a terminal is really easy, and Claude knows how to do it. And so just ask it to make the folder. And also on folders, sometimes the best way to use Claude with the folder system is I recommend putting at the top of each folder instructions for how Claude should use that folder, right? So inside of competitor analysis, for example, you might want to put in there, hey, Claude, this is where my competitor analysis is, right? Only use this for analyzing competitors. Or let's suppose you had a folder called blog, right? Say, Claude, this is my blog post. Here's the format for the blog post. And so a really good way to use Claude is to put instructions inside of each folder. And that way, Claude knows how to interact with it. And that way, you know, as your project expands, it knows how to interact with each part of your system.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
I'll see you next week.
I'll see you Thursday, or Thursday of class.
Oh, yeah,
But
Thursday.
we'll see you next week, okay?
Yeah, next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. How else can I be helpful?
For me, on the folder part as well, I work a lot in Google Drive. So I have like folders on my desktop, I guess, and on Google Drive. Will Claude now memorize that and can it organize folders in Google Drive as well? Will it like create copies in both, or yeah?
Okay, so the question is how to best interact with Google Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So actually, there was a new tool launched recently. It's pretty cool, and it's Google's official tool for interacting with Google Drive. So Google Drive CLI. Let me see if I can find it for you. So basically, it was all over Twitter the other day. New Google command line tool for working with Google Drive. So basically, Google launched a tool recently that allows you to interact with Google Workspace, and it's brand spanking new. Came out like a week ago, and so there it is. It was updated 13 minutes ago, and this is a link to it. And so what this allows you to do is that it allows you to Claude. Let's just see if it has a Claude skill. Okay. It allows you to interact directly within Google. So here's what I would do, Josepha. I would go into Claude and say, Claude, please install this on my computer so I can interact with my Google Drive. And you're just going to give it the full GitHub link. Okay? And so I haven't had a chance to play with this yet, but this is the new way that Google just launched in order to, I don't know what the heck this thing is. This spinning icon's pretty cool though. And it's the new way to interact with Google CLI. So a CLI means command line interface, and Google just recently launched this one, and I haven't had a chance to play with it, but in theory, it should allow you to interact with everything inside of your Google. And so if you go in here, you can actually see under skills, you can see that it has like the ability to interact with your calendar, your Google Drive, your events, Gmail, and a lot more things. So just try to get this set up and report back and see if it's working well for you. Okay, there's a lot of capability packed into this. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. When do I copy the Google Workspace -CLI or?
So
copy?
Good question. So Claude can read GitHub, and so what I want you to do is just say, I just put the message into Canvas chat. Claude, please install this on my computer so it can interact with it, and that will be the starting point. And so it's going to walk you through the setup process. By the way, just so you know, I haven't tried this yet. Doing things with Google can be a huge pain in the ass. Okay? So just so you know, before you go into it, some of the things that you're going to run into are going to be annoying. It might ask you to open up Google Admin and stuff. Be patient, work through it. And another really hot tip is if Claude ever gives you instructions, I'm going to share my screen again. If Claude ever gives you instructions in order to like do something, what I recommend doing is going into the Claude Chrome extension, and then what I will literally do is I will pop the instructions it gave me into the Chrome extension, and I usually set it to act without asking, and then Claude Chrome can power the browser in order to do it. Let's suppose it's like, hey, Joseph, I need you to go to Google Admin and create a link, and then Google Studio to create an API key, whatever. I'll take the instructions, I'll put them into the browser, right? So I'll just say to it, like, I don't know, help me make a Pinterest API key, right? And do it. And so what it will actually do is it will take control of the browser, and it will actually go to the correct website and start helping you get the correct permissions. And so you can see it actually opened up Pinterest. I'm not doing anything. And it's also going to take screenshots as it goes along. And again, I'm not doing anything. And it's going to help me accomplish the task that the AI needs in order to get the correct permissions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does the the extension? I don't think I have that.
So yeah, let me actually grab you the link, Claude Chrome extension. And so you're going to go through a quick setup process. It only works inside of Google Chrome, and it's a nice little extension. I use this a lot when I run into things that are just annoying to set up. Yay, Claude got the memory working. Chrome extension link. I'll put it into the chat, and then I will also put it into the campus chat, and I think this is also worth making a tutorial about. But basically, the way I use this is any time that, even though I am a developer at the end of the day, every time Claude Code asks me to do any sort of setup, I use the Chrome extension. It just makes my life easier. I know it helps me navigate to the right pages. And also, pro tip, this is really useful when setting up things that are complex like Facebook ads. It can explain each part of the interface and just help me through the whole setup process. So try out the Google CLI. Try to get it set up. It's going to be a pain in the ass. And then once you do it, see how well it works, okay? Another thing on that, I'm going to ask you a question after. Be mindful when connecting Claude to things like your Google Drive, because if you say to it, hey, go in there and delete everything, it will do it. Okay? So just please be mindful. With great power comes great responsibility. When you connect this to your core infrastructure, just be mindful. Okay? I know.
Because I work between two Google Drives, because my personal one and then I have the works one.
Yeah. Do you own the company?
No.
Okay, so definitely do not connect this to your work. Okay? Please connect it to, only connect Claude, and remember this from the workshop, or maybe you weren't in a workshop, you got onboarded differently. Please only connect Claude and super-powered agentic AI to data that you own. Okay? This is important because it can go in there and it can do some pretty crazy stuff. So please just be mindful of that. Okay? All right, next question. AK?
You mentioned in the workshop that there's a way to link and code from our apps.
Great.
So I downloaded the app and I've got Claude Code, but how do you link it to what I've been doing on the terminal?
Great question. So inside of the portal, you're going to find a, here, I'm going to go ahead and open up the portal for you so you can kind of see it. So inside the portal, I already created a tutorial, but I'm going to just walk you through the whole process right now, okay? So if you look at my screen, and I'm going to share times. I'm going to share times. Okay. You can stream ended due to a system error. Yeah. Okay. So why don't I change my camera? I'm going to change it to OBS. So I'm going to hack it. Can you guys see my Wait, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
All right, this is a little hack. Yeah. So, okay. So, but is it straight for you or is it backwards for you?
It's also loading.
Is it straight or is it backwards?
It's loading for me. I can't see anything.
There's nothing there. It's still loading.
Now it says failed.
It says failed. Oh no! Okay, but now you can see my digital camera. Yeah?
Yeah.
So now if I share my entire screen, because remember the first rule of AI? Patience. Now can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we got through that bug. Okay. So can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go to the portal and you go to Access Builders course and you go into, this is the specific, these specific instructions, okay? What you can do is you can follow these instructions to activate remote control. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this link into the chat, but I'm gonna show you also how to do this right here now, okay? So I'm gonna open up my terminal. Can you see inside of my terminal? Okay, so
Yeah.
now, before I show you this, just so we're clear, as of March 17th, 2026, this might be different than whenever somebody else watches it. The only way to have this ability is to be on the Claude Pro plan. So that means you're paying $90 a month to Claude, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, so you have to be on the Pro plan as of today. They probably will add this feature for lower tier users in the future, but today it's for the paid plan. So once you start Claude, all you need to do...
Can I set it up even though I'm not on the pro thing, like on the plan? Does it make sense to still go through this or not?
Yes, I'm going to show you because, by the way, just so you guys know, every time Claude is, they usually will take features that are originally on the Pro plan and then will make them available for the lower tiers later on. And it usually just happens in like a tweet. So I'm going to show you how to do it anyway, okay? So what you can do is, if you're on the Pro plan, open up the terminal and do /remote-control, okay? And what this is going to do is, you can see that says on the right side here, kind of small, it says remote control connected. And then inside of my app, on my Claude app, I'm going to open up my iPhone mirroring. I'm hoping you guys can see this. Lock your phone to connect. Here we go. Connect. Hold on. Connect. All right. Can you guys see my phone screen? I'm gonna lock your iPhone to connect. iPhone mirror connect with the phone. Oh, here we go. Good. Okay. So if I'm on inside of my app, you guys can see my phone screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I go ahead and open up Claude, all right, this is an iPhone, it might be an Android, it might be a little bit different. If I go to the left over here, I open up the menu and I click Code, you're going to see that you have a session here at the top that is this coding session. So if I go over here and you can see that it's running, and I just say hi, boop, send it. Oh, it might not be working because, hold on, let's try this again. Okay, and go back. Okay.
It says lock the Claude Code connect to GitHub.
Yes. I connected, but then it doesn't, it still just says start your session.
So there's a couple things. One, you have to be in the Claude Pro plan. Two,
I am.
you have to go into the terminal, do /remote-control, press enter. And then,
Yeah.
And then 3 is you're going to go into the app, and then you're going to see something that looks like this. You see this little icon? That means it's alive. You might have to go back and forth, by the way. You might have to like open it and then reopen it. And then I can just say like, say hi. Or this is a little bit buggy, but you get the deal.
Ah, yes.
And then you can see that on my phone, this is my phone, by the way, it's not my computer. I put in a command, and it actually ran it inside of my computer. So guess what? If you leave your computer on at home, right, and you have it running, and you have it always open, I'm going to go out to dinner in like an hour, right? From my actual phone, I can continue running commands on inside of my terminal, on my computer, and continue building.
It's also a better experience, actually.
It's very cool. So now a couple of things to actually make this work really well is you're going to have to make sure that 1, your computer does not go to sleep, okay? And so you have to make sure this, and by the way, the first time you do this, something might go wrong, it's okay, just practice at home. 1, you have to make sure your computer never goes to sleep. 2 is, I highly recommend, if you are using remote control, go ahead and click and do exit. And before you start your session, right, I want you to do Claude -- dangerously skip permissions. The reason is sometimes when you are running remotely, it's going to be like, hey, man, can you go do this thing? And I'm like, no, I'm at the beach. I'm drunk. I'm not anywhere near my computer. So I normally start with Claude dangerously skip permissions. And then remember, you have to do /remote control. You have to probably wait a minute or 2. And only then you're going to see, and by the way, it might not show up the first time, right? But you'll see eventually this Mac symbol pop up, and you'll know it's working when you send a message inside the app, and then it works inside of your computer. That's how you know it's working. You can see mine failed. This is a new feature, so just have patience with it, right? And if you need to, sometimes the best move is to just close the app and reopen it. It's a new feature. There we go.
I need to jump off, but thank you. I'm gonna keep this open now.
Yeah. So just play with it. There it is. You see the interactive session? That's how you know it worked. Okay. And so make sure get the settings on your computer right. Make sure your computer's plugged in, and then you can use this stuff from anywhere. It's really fun once you figure it out. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Other questions, comments, concerns? What's happening?
Can I ask you to give me the way that you would do the market research, or like the competitor research in the best way, like how you would prompt it?
The way I would prompt it.
Like on the studio?
So the way I would do it is the first thing I would do. So Sophia, you want to give everyone a breakdown a little bit more about your company and what you're doing?
Yeah, so I have 3 longevity studios in Stockholm, Mallorca, and Mykonos, and it's longevity with a focus towards beauty, so a lot of face and body sculpting and combination of hands-on treatments and wellness technology. And I also have a product line to sell to wholesalers and also e-com.
Yeah, so effectively Sophia has 3 different business flows. So she has her wellness studio that runs really well in Stockholm. She's another one that's an online store that sells individual products, and she also has a wholesaler part of the company. Now, zooming out, the reason that the competitor analysis might feel like, what are we doing here, is because it's not so much an AI problem as much as it is a business focus problem. All right, so Sophia, let me ask you, what do you feel is the biggest problem in the company right now? Like, what's the biggest thing we need to solve?
Rebooking and upselling. in the studio in Stockholm.
Great.
We already spoke about weight strategy here, so I just want to hear the way you would prompt the competitor analysis of US and, for example, London.
Great. So that's an awesome starting point. So zooming in, right? We got these 3 different flows for the business. We zoom in on Stockholm. We zoom in on rebooking. We zoom in on upsells. Okay? So what I would do is say to the AI, use voice mode. You're going to do this. All right? I have explained the studio inside the same folder, and I'm looking to increase the average order value per customer in the physical studio, right? And I want to create a cohesive plan to upsell them. Go find other studios, other wellness studios in tier 1 cities like New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and analyze their offer stack and identify the specific upsells and mechanisms they use to increase their average order value. So that's what I would focus on specifically, okay?
Awesome. Can I hear that on the recording afterwards?
I want you to actually do this yourself. I don't I don't edit all the recordings, and that's deliberate because we're pumping out several hours of content per day. I want you to actually open up voice mode, and I want you to get into the habit of actually doing this. Okay? That's the more important skill, is that you have to start seeing the different flows of your company. One is wholesale, one is D2C, another one is the wellness studio. You actually have a 4th one as well, which is your franchise side, right? And I want you to begin crafting these prompts on your own and using them yourself. Okay? So I don't rely on me to do this. You have the ability to do it, and with the agents, they can also help even further enhance the prompts that you give. It's I want you to create it yourself, use your voice, and explain it in the way that you explain it. Go and read the results, and the next time you do this, get more deliberate in terms of where you're targeting the energy of the agents, okay? Yeah. You can do it. Okay, you know your business way better than I do. Wyatt, you have a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to get, I guess it's telling me the security review thing is not really relevant for me at this time, so I'm just wondering if that makes sense. And then I'm trying to get the voice set up and running into a couple hurdles, so I'm wondering if you can help or if any of this.
Okay, so voice just came out this week, and so sometimes with Claude, what you might have to do is, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, okay? So sometimes I'm not sharing my screen, can you guys see my screen? You guys can't see my screen, great, okay. So sometimes when new things come out with Claude, your Claude might not be up to date, and I know this might seem scary, but you can do it, okay? What you might want to do is you might want to run /log out, or I'm sorry, don't do that. Do /exit. Okay, it's gonna finish the session, and then start Claude again, and see if it works then. So if you do /voice, see if it exists. If it doesn't, what you also might have to do sometimes is /log out. Okay, it's gonna log you out. Open up Claude again. And then you go through the setup process, and then you're going to log in again. So sometimes with new features, you have to either exit the session and reopen it to have the new feature, or you might have to log in and log back out again. Does that make sense? So try both of those, and there's good reasons why that's the case. I'm not going to go into why, but sometimes you got to do that to get the new features. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Good question though. The other thing is I saw that you're plugging that into Claude. Now the weird part is Claude the desktop app, it's trained on the internet. And so these features are so brand spanking new that there actually might not be any documentation out there yet for these specific nuances. Okay? So even though you might assume Claude, the desktop app, and Claude Chat, you would assume, like, it knows everything about Claude. It is Claude. The truth is, the answer is sometimes no, because there's not enough documentation out there. And also, zooming out just another step for further context, 95% of what I am teaching you guys, it comes from Twitter. Because I follow all of the Anthropic engineers, I follow all of the nerds on Twitter, who very freely, openly share the things that they are creating. And a lot of times, you might even search some of the stuff I show you on the internet, and you're not going to find much reference to it. And so, if you're asking Claude or ChatGPT how to do something, you might be like, oh, this might work. But because it's so new, the pages and the tutorials don't exist yet, or even if they do, they haven't been properly indexed, by index meaning found, by ChatGPT or Claude, so you might not get an answer there, which I know is weird. But if you ever have a feature that I show you and you're like, I don't have it yet, try exiting, starting Claude again, and if you still don't see it, try logging out, logging in again, and then see if you see it. Okay?
Okay, and then I guess it's also just possible that, I guess since this is new and I'm on Windows, that maybe they just haven't rolled it out to me yet.
It's possible. Are you in the Pro plan?
It says Claude Code the 2.1.58 Sonnet 4.6 Claude Pro. I think I pay like €20 a month. Does that mean I'm Pro?
So you're not on Pro yet. You're on the $20 a month plan, which is like, I'm sorry, you're on Pro, but you're not on Max. So okay, but let me explain something when it comes to features. So there's a couple.
Pro, yeah, it's just for Max.
No, you can be on any plan on your computer. So, but there's something I'm going to explain about these feature rollouts. So, it's not only based on what plan you have. Okay? So, even if you are on a max, let's suppose you're on an enterprise plan, you're paying $3,000 a month, hypothetically.
Yep.
You might not have the feature because you might be registered in Portugal. You might not have the feature because the credit card you use is from Sweden. You might not have the feature because your IP address, where you're physically based in the world, is registered to a different company. So all these features that come out, it's not only about the plan. There might also be some restrictions based on where you physically are located. And on top of that, they normally roll out new bleeding edge features to a small subset of users first. So like maybe they give it to 5%, then 10%, then 30%, then 20%. So it could be regional, it could be plan, or it could also be that you just don't have the feature yet. It's impossible to know, but sometimes some things I show you, some of those restrictions might come into play because this is so new, right? And so all those things could be true. So yeah, I wish it was an easier answer.
No, that's fine.
Cool. What else, y'all?
I have a pretty important meeting in about half an hour, so I'll probably hop off soon. Before I go, just to confirm for tomorrow, we're fine if you wanted to come by at 3, but I think for you, maybe it's better at 4, or is 3 good?
So the interesting thing is that, okay, so we're talking about meeting up in Lisbon physically, for those based in Lisbon. Let me just check my calendar real quick. I'm on my second computer here. The problem is that I absolutely have to be back inside of my studio by 6 p.m. So I think 3 p.m. is too late. Here's what I suggest we do. Let's
I have something from 2 to 2:30, and after that, that's a video call. After that, I have nothing.
Yeah, but I really appreciate you guys doing it, but also, dude, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. You guys are based in Santos, right? Okay. Yeah, I say let's plan in advance for next week, and let's skip it tomorrow. Only because if we're gonna do it, or the other option is I don't come, and then you guys can meet up without me. I mean, that's also a possibility. I just want to be present with you guys, and I feel like because I have the first online workshop tomorrow, it's just gonna be a little bit late. I'm gonna show up and then run away. You know? Yeah.
Let's do next week then.
Yeah, let's plan for that. How does that sound?
Yeah, I mean that'd be my vote, but whatever other people think.
Yeah, do you guys still want to meet up tomorrow? Lisbonites?
I can't tomorrow, but next week could be good.
Yeah, let's guys, I really appreciate you offering. We also were trying to throw it together with times. Let's plan in advance for the next one. Okay? We'll do a planned meetup tomorrow next week, and we'll figure out the best location for it. But I really appreciate you guys offering to home. It really means a lot. It's very kind, and I don't take that lightly. Okay, I really appreciate it.
Maybe we can do a little vote in the group what time and day works best.
Yeah. I think. Well, to be also I have an incredible space, and so I have a space at home where I'm also happy to host. I'm just. Yeah, we'll plan it. We'll plan it in advance for next week. How does that sound? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Life school in real life. I'm still looking at spaces, and so my hope is to have a physical location for where we can meet up regularly. I'm being very patient with it because there's a lot of factors that go into it. You know. So yeah, but I really appreciate you guys offering. It means so much. So thank you so much. Okay, cool. Any other burning questions about your business? Guys, I'm here. Lean into me. What's up? How can I be helpful?
I have reached my maximum tokens, so I can't do it.
Okay.
$280, but it's given me the whole competitor and redone the website. It's really cool. I was just reading through that.
Awesome. Yeah. It's sometimes you hit the token limit, and then you just gotta. Look, if you guys are gonna be on this a couple days a week, maybe it's worth upgrading. But I'm not gonna tell you how to spend your money.
Well, I think definitely. I'm noticing more and more also how I can make it used for work. And I'm almost hesitant to send some of the stuff because it almost discredits so many people in my company to work. Almost because it's okay, well, this designer did this entire UX design, and Claude just outputted it for me in 10 minutes.
Okay, this is worth discussing. Big time. This technology is going to be very frustrating. Once you get in tune with this tech, being a part of containers and entities that are not thinking agentically first. Once you get in tune with the power of everything AI has to offer, being inside of a business, being inside of a structure that does not support this sort of innovation is going to feel very restricting. And that's why it's critical that we approach it mindfully, but also this is why it's critically important that we train everybody up on this, because they have to learn. If your designer is inside of Figma, he can 100x his output, right? If your marketing team is waiting for somebody in the UK to put together a graphic for a week, right? Approach the conversation mindfully, but also we got to get people trained up. And by the way, just so you guys know, we're actually doing our first online setup tomorrow. And so it's only for Mac users. Sorry, Wyatt. But like, we're doing our first online setup. So if you want to invite any friends who have MacBooks, please make sure they do. We're going to try our first online workshop tomorrow. And then additionally, if you guys ever wanted to do a training for a company, Mac Online, I'll send the link here. They can join, but also if you ever wanted to do a training for the company, we're also very open to doing that. We're doing one locally for a company here in Portugal, who's kind of in a similar space. One of their employees came to the workshop. She's like, holy shit, everyone needs to know about this. So we're actually going to host a private training. So if you guys are ever interested in that, I'm also happy to chat with you more about it. Just like shoot me a message in Campus and we can figure it out. But if you're inside an organization and you're seeing the holes, they got to get up to speed. And it's also, if you're inside an organization that's not encouraging you to adapt this technology and apply it, it's going to be time to kind of reevaluate where you're sitting, because this stuff's moving with the speed of light. And you got to be very discerning at this point in history.
Yeah, that makes sense. For me, my manager knows that I'm doing this course because I've asked if they contribute to like this sort of helping to build out knowledge. And he said, well, they do partly, but also that's something definitely I should be sharing with the team. So I was thinking maybe down the line, I'd ask you if the team, if we can do something like what you just said.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, now I have all of this knowledge and all of these things, and I'm like, oh my god, I could start from, like doing everything, and I'm like, oh god, how much do I share, how quickly?
Okay, so I've done a lot of these. It's a bit of an art. It's a bit of an art because how big is the company?
Around like 50 people, I'd say, 45 people.
Right. So, okay. Are you in a leadership position in the company?
No.
Okay. So, I've done many trainings for teams of different sizes over the years. This isn't just like recent. This is like I've done it in many different contexts. And if you wanted some quick tips for how to actually do this, here's what I recommend doing in the company. Make sure to get buy-in from leadership, first and foremost, okay? The easiest way to begin sharing is to create, do you guys use Slack or some sort of community?
Yeah.
Okay. Ask leadership, it's like, hey, I'm learning a lot in AI and this course I'm doing, I would love to share it. Would it be okay? What do you guys think about setting up a Slack channel for sharing all the interesting things that are possible with AI? Okay. And again, you want to get buy-in from leadership. That part is going to be critical. And make sure you have a consensual space within the company where people can freely share the things they are doing with AI. Now, when you're talking about teaching a person, it's very different than teaching a company. And there's a couple of other things you have to be mindful of, which is first, company culture, right? And so the first thing that's going to happen is once you share these superpowers with other people is that they're going to be like, holy shit, this person can now do my job. Okay? People become very nervous once they see the power of AI. So my recommendation would be, one, get buy-in from leadership. Two, they absolutely should cover the cost of this course. I'm happy to send you I think you have an invoice. Send it to them, make sure they cover it. Three is approach the conversation very mindfully, okay? And make sure you get buy-in from leadership. And the easiest thing to do is just set up a Slack channel. Don't hit it like every minute, every day, but begin sharing what's going on and make sure the leadership tells their employees, guys, it's okay to share what you're doing with AI, because they're all using it. I have a really great quote from a training a couple years ago. Somebody said, AI is like Botox. Everybody uses it, but nobody wants to admit they use it. And so you have to have a culture that is okay with sharing AI. You have to establish that. Make sure you get buy-in from leadership to do that. And begin sharing on that channel. Also encourage other people to share there too. Don't just be the only person in the Slack. Let other people share what they're doing as well. And, just start piecing it in there. And like outside of that, if you guys want to do a training for your company, I'm more than happy to do it online. Get everybody set up just like you have and begin showing them what's going on. We're super flexible. We want to ultimately get as many people on board of this as humanly possible. So I'm happy to do that for you guys if you feel called to it.
Yeah, amazing. Definitely. This is a good tip. I will share because I feel like I've been struggling and not knowing how much to say yet, what to share. Now I've built this entire deck for them. Well, Claude has built it. But I'm like, oh God, do I now make it look like not AI has built this? Yeah.
All very good questions. The thing is that we're talking about culture, right? And we're talking about what is acceptable, what is not. Now, if you were at a startup with 3 people, they would be like, yeah, go harder, like me. Like I go into my integrator, my house has another office just for her. I just go in there and I'll run the prompt. I'm like, get the AI to do it. You can do it, right? I make it do everything. Companies, what is the nature of the company? What are you guys doing?
It's a supplements company for women's hormones.
Okay, so that actually might be a very, I worked in D2C. I worked for a massive brand called Your Super. We sold it a couple of years ago. I was CTO of the company for a couple of years. D2C companies are normally more on the bleeding edge, right? Based on my experience, at least the culture that I created as CTO. My recommendation would be the following. Ask to make an AI shares channel, right? Encourage other people to post in there, but it's going to have to be top down, and I would get buy-in from leadership to do it. And create a space inside of the entity where it is safe. It is also explicitly encouraged to share the ways that you're using AI in the company. That would be the first step.
Okay. Yeah, I would say they're pretty open. I mean, everyone should be, but they are actively trying to work with new AI tools as well. I just have noticed that, the designers still work in Figma, and there's still, I feel like Claude hasn't been introduced yet, and everything that we can do.
Yeah, for sure. So just be mindful how you approach the conversation within the entity, and just try to get buy-in from leadership. Like, I'm happy to show up and teach you guys whatever. I have deep experience in D2C from managing. We had, I think at peak we had 8 different Shopify sites, and we were running conversion rate optimization across the board. At peak, we were doing about 7 million ad spend a month on Facebook. So I know the pipelines and the funnel and the flywheel very well. But yeah, just get buy-in. Make sure the buy-in's clean and everyone's cool. Okay?
Okay. Amazing.
Great. Any other questions I can answer before we go and integrate today? I know I need it. Harrison. Sorry? Wyatt, you want to repeat that?
Hello.
Can you hear us? Can you see us?
Hey. I can hear you, but thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody! Yay! I hope your journey's going great. Remember, we have the portal. We have an online workshop tomorrow. Invite your friends. Make sure they have a Mac. And we're going to keep on onboarding and teaching the masses. We're also doing another workshop this Friday, next Tuesday, and the following Friday at Wheelhouse. So feel free to share that around. I'm going to make you guys affiliate codes. I just need to do it sometime this week. So you guys will get kickback on everybody that signs up and everything. On top of that, I want to do an AI artist weekend. So the way I see business, like business you kind of build for them, but art you kind of make for yourself. And so I want to see what the overlap with artists and Claude Code and all these incredible superpowers is. So I'm looking for partnerships with other artist organizations in Lisbon, and I want to do like an AI art weekend. I'm just putting that on your guys' radar. If you know anybody who has a big community or has a gallery or a space, I'm going to make this happen. And so just let me know if any of that comes to mind. But thank you guys so much. I will see you at the latest Thursday. And just keep on Claude coding, put a message in the chat, and I'll see you all very soon. Feel free to stick around, by the way, and continue working together. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Bye. Thank you for watching if you're there.